Hi, guys. So, a really big part of our literature class has been literature, reading books. And you guys have read so many books this year. You've been working on your genre challenge. Many of you have completed it. And something we were supposed to do this year was to do another set of literature circles or book clubs using the books that we got with our grant. And so, I'm trying to find a way for us to still do that. So, what this is going to do is this slideshow is going to talk to you about book clubs. This is, again, completely optional. It's for those of you out there that really enjoy reading and you want a book to read. But not just that, you also want a book that you can read with a group of students, with friends, with partners, because you know that reading with other people helps you to understand what's going on in the story even deeper, which then grows your knowledge and your brain power. So you're going to look through these slides. Make sure you read them very carefully. And so let's talk about what's going to be expected. So, who is this for? This is going to be for students who want to read a book with another group of students, that are self motivated, that are dependable. Your group can count on you. If you say you're going to read a certain chapter, certain number of pages that day, you're going to do it. You're comfortable with Google Meet or Google Hangouts, or you're open to being comfortable with those two platforms. And students that are responsible. So there will be a magical way that I will get the books to you, and you're checking it out from me. So you will be returning them to me. So these are your steps. First, you're going to look at all of the titles. You're going to pick your top 3 book choices. You're going to reserve your book. You're going to then get the book magically. You're going to make a plan with your group, and then you're going to read and talk through it the next couple of weeks. So let's look at our available books. The first book that we have is Beyond the Bright Sea. I just finished this book. I liked it. It is set in the 1920s off the coast of Massachusetts, and it's a story about a 12-year-old girl who was washed up to sea when she was just a few hours old. And when she turns 12, she starts having questions about her identity, her parents. She knows nothing. And so it's a very interesting, adventure-filled story about identity and family. The next book is called One Crazy Summer. This is a Caldecott Medal winner book, which says a lot. It's taking place in the 1960s when society is changing, and there's a lot of racial charge going on in this book. The next book is The War That Saved My Life. This has been a really popular title with students in our classrooms. It takes place in World War II with a girl named Ada. I call her Ada. Some people say her name is Ada. This is a story that will really help you to see how others have been treated around the world. This is a story of perseverance. This is a story of trust and of bravery. It's phenomenal. Until Tomorrow, Mr. Marsworth is set in the backdrop of Vietnam War, and she is determined to save her brother from the draft. So during that time period, all men over a certain age, regardless of if they wanted to or not, were entered into a draft. And if their birth date was picked, they had to go to war. And so this is going to take place in that setting. And I would encourage you to read all of the book descriptions as well. A Night Divided. This is a really interesting book. This is a book that takes place regarding the Berlin Wall, and it's a story about a girl named Goethe, and she is trying to save her father and her brother. This book is really, really good. These are all really good books, but I think this is a really interesting timepiece that isn't written about very often. And the last one is Brian's Winter. So Brian's Winter actually is not part of our historical novel book club books, but it's a really good book by Gary Paulson. We've read some of his work this year, so I wanted to throw it in there as well. And it continues the story from Hatchet, and you have 13-year-old Brian Robeson, who learns to survive alone in the Canadian wilderness. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to make a list of your top 3 book choices. I will do my best to make sure you get your first choice, but it all depends on the number of books I have available for each book title and the number of students that want that book. You're then going to pick your book. by filling out the form. So you're just going to click on the link. It's going to take you directly to a book form that you're going to fill out all of the questions that are provided. And that is that. So make sure that you look over the titles. You think to yourself, are you up for this challenge? Is this something that you would enjoy to do? It's optional, meaning it's not graded. However, this is something that if I were in sixth grade, I would do because it is helping you connect with other students in the classroom. Some of them are your friends. And I love reading. I loved reading when I was in sixth grade. And this is another way to help you read books when we don't have the libraries to go to right now. And it's tricky to know exactly what books to read. So I encourage you to check it out. Remember, it is optional. And please make sure you check it out and fill out that form by this Friday.